What's going on, everyone? I want to recap the NASDAQ futures. So again, to start the morning, to say the least, I was trading with the guys in Evolution Traders Discord. We were on the live voice chat. Again, if you guys want to join, that link is down in the description box below. You guys can be a part of that, growing room. But with that being said, I took 220 plays. Now, if you guys have been following me on YouTube, you guys know that I love to play these over under the 20 SMA breaks with the confirmation. I started off the day down quickly, $350 because I took two losing trades off the day. Again, I was playing micros to start, so I was playing a total of 5 contracts a pop, getting in, getting out. You can just see how bad that can get very, very quickly. Now, again, you can see even how much more detrimental it can be if you were playing minis, for example, and you're getting stopped out 10, 15, 20, 30 points almost. It can be very detrimental, especially if you're trading a prop firm account. So I want to go ahead and review exactly what I was looking at. The first setup that we had was at 720. So if you look at the 720 PST candle, you can see us close below the 20 period moving average. I was expecting a nice washout. You can see the previous low wick here. We get the confirmation at 725. So what do I do? Being that I'm going to follow my edge and my strategy, I jump short, and what happens? Less than a minute later, it completely starts to reverse and go against me, comes all the way back up, breaks this 20 SMA. At this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I've got to let it close over the 20 SMA. We're already here. We start to pull back. I think that I'm going to be, somewhat relatively flat, and then we continue to pop, and I have to get out of the trade. Now, the next trade that I took was a long setup because I thought that this was going to be an initial pop followed by the washout. We're going to hold this area here and continue back up to the high of day. I get long once more at 745 and immediately get stopped out within 10 minutes after entering. Now, one thing that I do kind of want to bring to everyone's attention is that when you lose, when you lose trades, as long as you're not oversized, to the gills, you'll be able to kind of manage those losing positions, especially if you're on a prop firm account. So if you're looking to pass a futures prop firm account, I've already had a few guys in the room since joining within the last 30 days pass successfully their Apex accounts. Again, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of rocky, kind of bumpy, rough patches. But once you start to understand and you start to, really dial in that, hey, losing's not that bad. If I'm position sized okay, things can start to work out in your favor. So if we look at this 755 candle, we've got a new hours candle starting to form at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. I go ahead and I jump this short position here. You can see that was around 988, and that quickly drops to around 975. So again, not looking for a whole lot, just trying to take 10 points here and there, trying to recover some of those losses. Again, we do bounce once more into the 20 SMA here, never close above it, but I want to show you guys something here on a 5-minute time frame. So if you guys have been trading with me, I've been calling out these reversal bounces, right? It's just something that I've done, for many, many years now, identifying where is the potential exhaustion move and where potentially could we bounce, right? Like just a little dead cat bounce into supply. So one thing that I was looking at, if we look at these first lows that were put in here, we also have some pre-market data there. We give this nice pop and then we pull back once more. I want you guys to focus on these type of candlesticks after exhaustion moves down. Because if you start to focus on those, you can use the low wick as a stop. I don't know why my drawing tool just got smaller when I didn't want it to be smaller. If you focus on the low wick as your stop and you use the high wick as your pivot, and the next candle is your entry candle, you take this long, you use this as a stop, you sit in it until you're green or until you hit supply. That was here. Finally was able to go green on the day here. And then once we got rejected and we started to take out the low of day, I did jump short for a scalp there into the 200 SMA. Now again, we started to chop around a little bit. I started to give back a little bit of those gains as we started to chop around a little bit, and I got very, very frustrated. It was also at this point in time, I got my coffee. If you guys are trading with me on a day in and day out basis, I was pretty mentally spent during this whole period of time. I took a couple of losses. I was able to make a little bit of money back. I finally started to break into the green. At this time, I'm emotionally spent. I need to get away from the screens. I need to come back with a clear head. Obviously, I know that Apex Trader Funding has got that 90% off deal. They're obviously betting on prop firm traders to continue to fail or continue to pass, pay the activation fee, and then fail. However you want to look at it, that's what they're betting on with the 90% off sale. So I quickly, decide I don't want to play any real money. I've taken a few options trade on the day. Luckily that I'm green on that side. I'm about green, came back from being red on futures, so I don't really want to give up any more. So let me go ahead and play an evaluation account. I invested around $16 in this account. It's a $50,000 account. I just went and I said to myself this, either I'm going to pass this in a day, again, not recommended. I'm going to pass this today or get pretty darn close to passing this today, or I'm just going to lose 16 bucks, right? So the way I look at it as is if I invested $16 into this evaluation account, the most I can lose is 16 bucks, right? I have a strategy. I understand how to read price action fairly well for myself. I went ahead and I played very, very large size here, taking these scalps at lower day breaks. The first trade that I ended up taking was I noticed this wick here. I noticed this high here. So what I was telling myself is that if we made a new low of day through the 5-minute 200 SMA, I'm going to go ahead and get short. That's exactly where I went short. I took a little bit of a scalp from here to here on that new low. As we started to bounce up, I told myself that if we break for a continuation low, let's go ahead and go heavy size and try to catch this move. We only held it for about 5 to 7 minutes, took a nice little gain there, and then we started to chop around. So realistically, I was able to pass on just a few handfuls of trades, scalping in and out, again, on rather large size. But you can just see that once you start to understand price action, you can start to sort of see, you know, what the day has been doing. Obviously, this is a downtrend. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? So we really want to be focusing on the breakdowns, right? We really want to be focusing on the breakdowns and taking those short, collecting your money on the new low of day, taking the money short, collecting your money on the new low of day, taking a trade short, collecting your money on the new low of day. Again, once it starts to click, you're really not confused. Now, where you get confused is off the open when we're popping and then we're coming back down and we put in this low and then we pop and it's kind of like, are we going up, right? Or are we going down? Once we're establishing that opening range, it's very, very difficult. But once you can see us, you know, not take out the opening range to the high side, but in fact start breaking down to the low side, you can see that the trend on the day pretty much set up. So again, you can take these evaluation accounts when they offer 80% off or 90% off. You can play large size, okay, just to try to hurry up and pass and look at every account as, like, I'll just use a general example. If you go out and you buy 5 accounts, 5 or 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, you go out and you buy 5 accounts, right? You've got $2,500 worth of drawdown per account on a 50K account. That's $10,000 worth of drawdown. You can go out and play some big size on your current setup. And if you pass a few of them, you fail a couple of them, that's fine. Realistically, look at it as I'm only down 20 bucks. I'm only down $40. The whole goal is to pass, right? We want to, obviously this doesn't come when you're barely starting to try to learn how to trade. Obviously you want to have the fundamentals down, but once you kind of have the idea of how to trade, we want to pass as soon as possible. Because once we get funded, that's where the real game starts. That's where the real risk management starts. That's where the real controlling of your emotions starts. It's not during the evaluation period. Use the evaluation period to kind of slow roll and slow burn it and kind of make some cash and pass. Once you start to pass, then it's all about, can we make 500 bucks on this account in a month? Can we make $1,000 on one account in a month? The whole goal is to get as many funded accounts as you can. So even if you make $500 on one account all month, if you have 10 of those, it's close to $5,000 at the end of the month. So think about it that way. Don't think about trying to make $5,000 on one account. Think about trying to make $5,000 spread across your risk on 10 accounts. Use that type of mentality, and I think you're going to do a much better for yourself. But again, if you don't have no baseline and you don't really have no foundation, you don't really understand how to trade, period, then I would definitely recommend learning how to trade first before you go and start just spending a bunch of money on evaluations and failing a bunch of them and not really understanding what the hell's going on. So again, if you guys do want to trade with me, you guys want to learn, you guys want to be a part of the group, be involved in the live trades, and you also want to be involved in getting those study guides and those coursework lessons, make sure to join the link down in the description box. I've only got, a couple more lifetime spots open. Again, I got some traders that have joined me recently within the past 30 to 60 days that, in my opinion, I think are doing pretty well for themselves. I just think they just need more time to continue to see that it works, right? They're doing really well for themselves right now. They kind of have a good understanding of their risk management based on their position sizing. And after that, it's just all about taking more trades, right? Again, some people take a little bit longer to grasp the concept than others, but again, everyone's different, right? Everyone's different. So as long as we're progressing, as long as we're not getting blown up, and as long as we're learning on a day in and day out basis and we have money to trade, That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. We continue to do what we do each and every single day. Even if we win or we lose, we still come back and we fight another day. I'll see you guys all either next week, or some of you guys who decide to join, I'll see you guys on the inside.